Well, hello everyone, it's Kevin here. Today I want to talk about making mixes and uploading them to Mixcloud. I find that this is one of the best ways to stay in shape as a DJ and make sure to keep my skills honed, but also to basically share your work with others. So I can upload these mixes, and I find that some wedding clients or party clients or just friends and family will reach out and say, hey man, thank you so much for making that. It really got my day going. Or I was able to get through my workout with your mix or whatever. And I find it a lot of fun when I get that feedback. So I'm going to show you guys what I do in my process step by step, so that you guys can make mixes of your own and maybe get a tip or two along the way if you're already doing it. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, I'm gonna start from the very beginning. So I've got my DDJ 1000, got my MacBook Pro, and I'm connected basically to an Eon 1 Pro speaker. And this is the speaker that I use for my wedding ceremonies and other needs. It's got a neat built-in mixer, so it's super easy to play with, and it sounds great. And I just set it up right next to me. And I basically go in, my first step is always to stage the mix that I'm going to make. We want to pick a theme, and what today's theme is going to be, I'm going to make a 2000s hip hop mix, okay? And if I just want to show you guys how I built this. If I go into my collection and I think I want to do some hip hop, so I can select hip hop, which is going to show me all my tracks that are in a hip hop genre, okay, that I've tagged with my record box with the hip hop tag, okay, the genre tag that I made. Okay, so it's showing me all the tags, and I want to do specifically 2000s hip hop, so I would just sort by year, and I could do this a couple different ways, but here's one way to do it. And I can look through here and say, okay, let's just comb through these and pick the songs that I'm going to want to play in my mix. And when I find one, of course, I've got sometimes multiple versions because I have the DJ intro edit or whatnot, or a remix or a redrum. So I just grab it and I say, hey, I want this, I want this Yin Yang Twins track. So I just grab this and I drop it into my my mix crate that I'm making, my playlist that I'm making for the mix in particular. So that's how I do it. I kind of prep it, and you could of course do right click and you could drop it in there if you wanted to that way. But anyway, build and stage your track listing. Okay. And then I kind of do this, and I do that for, sometimes that can be an hour or two. I just really get into it, and I listen to my songs, and I kind of make sure that they're in the right vibe that I'm going after. Then I kind of go through, and it's like a process of elimination. Like, for example, maybe I just go through the year and I say, hey, let me make sure I didn't get anything that's outside of the 2000s, and oops, look, I got this Coolio track. Let's get that out of there. So I just pull it out of the playlist. So of course I'm just taking it out of my mix playlist so I don't accidentally mix in that track. And then I'll go through and I'll be like, hey, do I have too much, do I have multiple Cypress Hill tracks, too many Eminem tracks? Oh no, there's 250 cents, whatever. And I'll kind of like, of course, sorting by artist helps helps that a little bit more. Sometimes you want to do that and it doesn't really matter, but I just like to have some diversity in my tracks. And then I look at other things, like, for example, do I have any tracks that have explicit on them? Okay, and I usually mark tracks with explicit, so it doesn't look like I do. I look for, hey, what's my energy level? And I don't want, like if I'm going from Bust a Move, Hands in the Air, these are my high energy levels. I don't want to all of a sudden jump into a toe tapper, which is like one of my lowest forms of energy. So, hey, you know what, Afro Man, no, not this time. I'm not gonna, maybe if we were doing sort of a chill lounge backyard kind of thing, or maybe that could be the banger that sets it off, but I'm gonna pull that out. Okay, sorry, Afro Man. All right, so I've got all these songs. Now, all these tracks, they're probably in the zone for me. I pre-did this, okay? So I pre-moved them in here and had a couple songs I didn't want. And as I go through, maybe I'm like, chain hang low, I don't know. I'm going to get that out of here because it's just, I don't know. It doesn't feel, I don't know. I'm not feeling it, And I can do that now, or I could do it real time. Let's say I'm going through and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to drop Missy right now. That just wouldn't go in the mix. So guess what? I just don't play. I just skip over it. So this can be dynamic. You don't have to stick to it, but it helps to have somewhat of a script. I'm not a fan of like playing exactly, like if you make it and you keep it exactly how you engineered it, that would be good for a festival or a concert. But when you're just playing around here in your house, I'm going to go ahead and switch this on. When you're just playing around, I think you should, go off the hook a little bit and bounce around, do a doubles, you know what I mean? Like, go from, if you're in 70s, jump up to 140 and like jump back down, like play around. Anyway, you can do that. You can certainly, let's say you're kind of in the mix and you're like, oh, I need something to bridge between maybe, like I'm going to sort by BPM here real quick. Let's say you're, I don't know, maybe you're mixing by BPM and you're like, ooh, here we go. And maybe you're stuck. You're like, I need to get from 100 to 105 because I'm going to skip over this Kanye song. I need to go to P.D. Pablo, but I need something in the middle. Well, go ahead, go in your library, find something else. You don't have to, be perfectly married to your list here. In fact, use this guy, the related tracks, and that can kind of help you. Of course, I don't have anything loaded, but, what goes with I from the same kind of era with the same kind of BPM, you can do this and then, Rekordbox will tell you, now it's not telling me, sometime 1,000 miles, that's not going to be in the same genre, but hey, look at this, a DMX track that I probably haven't played in a while. It could go with it, some Snoop. That sounds great. Okay, cool. You guys get the point. Okay. So, that's really the first step is to stage everything. Okay. And of course I'm here on my MacBook Pro. I've got Rekordbox up, and when I'm in normal mode, I've got this little record button here, and that's by clicking this button here, I'll kind of toggle it. You'll see the record button pop on and off. That's essentially what I'm going to use to record my mix. So that's really the first few steps. Setting this up, getting Rekordbox ready to go, making sure I got a good setup. Got my phones here, my headphones here, got my speaker so I can hear everything and it sounds good. And then I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I usually will look and say, hey, what track do I want to start with? So I have to think about it. I probably want to start slow and then build up in BPM. That's usually a good kind of basic roadmap to do. So I'll go ahead and put you guys on that tripod and I'll get started with this mix, and then I'll pick you guys up and we'll look at the next steps after I'm done. I'm all finished and finished up on some Usher and quintessential 2000s hip hop. Anyway, I finished my recording. I hit stop, and basically what happens is Rekordbox will put the recording that I just made into a folder called music. Let's see, it's just in the Pioneer DJ like standard folder under recording. And you have some options to save your recording when you're done clicking it. So I put it under my Mixcloud. And I don't really have an album kind of thing here. But anyway, here's the file, okay? So I could, of course, just take a little listen and make sure. Okay, that's definitely it. I started off with a little sampler, a little sample. Okay, and there it is. Okay, cool. So I'm good there. I have my file, and you can see it's about an hour actually. So it's, I don't know, 500 meg or so. So yeah, it's a big file, but it's cool because, I just got into it, and you can see on my green, I played pretty much every track in this list, and I had to hop out and grab a track or two also just out of my collection to round it out. But I am set, I believe, on my mix. Now, next thing I'm going to do is just open up my Mixcloud site. Sorry for the shaky camera here. And so this is just my Mixcloud. And of course, I have, you can have the account that you pay for, the free account, and, the pro. But if you go here and you go to your profile, you can kind of see all your prior mixes and such. I just go here to upload, right there. And this is super easy. It just asks me to choose a file. And of course, you can see it will take pretty much any file you have. And, just by default, I'm, generating a WAV file out of the Rekordbox software. So browse to the file, pretty easy. And then I can upload. Now, one thing I will say about this upload process is it takes a while. I mean, of course, it all depends on your speed, internet speed, but now here's where we get to name it. So I'm gonna call this, I don't know, 2K hip hop. I've already done one similar to this. So I'm gonna call it 2K hip hop 2, okay? So this is my second the 2000s hip hop mix that I've done recently. And so you can pick a couple little things, right? So primary tag, I can choose hip hop out of here. And of course you can make your own. So like if I wanted to put, maybe I want to put rap, because some people might search for rap. All right. And you can say add. And sometimes if the Mixcloud recognizes a subgenre, it will tell you. It will say basically like, oh, and it'll pop it up. So, but in any case, I'll put rap there. You could put some more if you wanted to. You could add as many tags as you want, however you want people to find your music. And then you pick a page color. So, I don't know, I'll just pick a blue, kind of a slate blue, whatever. Okay. And then, of course, you could add a description. I usually put, a quick description of what this is. So I'll put the phone down a sec. Okay, so I just said quick mix, because in this mix in particular, I was just using like maybe the first minute and a half of each song. So I usually got 1 or 2 choruses in and then it jumped out. So I call it a quick mix of about 40 songs, and they're from the 2000s, and they'll make you bounce. So just a little bit of content there about your mix. Also, you can put links in here as well if you've got something to put in there for that. But here, this is where you can put basically like album art for your mix. And I always do something a little for this. Not that it's like a work of art, but I do something just to make it a little bit of a unique experience, but also it helps a lot with social media. And I'll show you that in just a bit. So what I do in this, part in my process, I leave my computer kind of hooked up to my controller, so it's got it's got power and everything. And sometimes I even put on a playlist or something, or another mix just in the background while this uploads, and you can see it's taking a little bit of time. So I'm gonna go ahead and go on my other computer, and I'm gonna work on making a little bit of an album art for this. Okay, so nothing big. I'm just gonna use Photoshop and do something corny, but I think it helps actually. And I'll tell you this, just as a warning, I don't know if this is me or not, but for some reason, if this computer goes to sleep, okay, if I go to sleep, essentially what's going on is this will start over. I don't know, it always seems to happen, or it'll freeze and it won't work. So I have to restart it. So I know that my Rekordbox has this cool capability. If it's in the foreground, then my computer won't go to sleep. So I'm just gonna leave that in the foreground and let that upload bar keep going. And I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna go on my other computer and I'm gonna work on this little piece of art, okay, that will be my album art. So I will go ahead and make a start there and show you guys how I do. Right, so here's what I came up with. I basically just, I have a little template file, and I looked at the size. I think I found it on the website for the image that you would use typically. And I think, let's see if I have this is just Photoshop, by the way, and looks like this is the 720 by 720 is what I found that is a good size for an image to use for these album covers, or Mixcloud covers. So basically, you can probably see all these layers. I just have like this one template, and I just do something different with the background. I just made a gradient, use the gradient tool, use the square format. Let's see, boom, picked some colors, did a square format, and then just made a background. And then I just picked a font that I thought was kind of cool, but easy to read too, because you're gonna, on social media, if you share this, you're gonna want this to stand out. And I just realized I misspelled hip hop, so that's cool. So I'm gonna change that real quick. So let's see, let's use a capital O, and then I'll go to my other layer, hide this one. Yeah, I'm glad I saw that. It's always good to proofread, right? Okay, so now I think that looks okay, and it's just got a little shadow there, hip hop 2, and then I just tell people it's a quick mix. Now, interestingly, on Facebook, when you share these, it cuts off the top and the bottom of this square. It just shows like a rectangle and just shows the center. I don't know why, but so I've just been using sort of this, you can kind of tell if I go to my Mixcloud site, you can kind of see like all of my little album covers. I concentrate art or whatever it is in the middle. So there might be some other stuff in the background, but I try to concentrate it in the middle mostly. This one probably just made it barely in that image, these two as well. But anyway, you can kind of see. So I take this and I just save it, and then I bring it over to my other PC, which hopefully will be uploaded soon. As I finish that in real time, and you can kind of see where we are on the upload. It's about half done. It takes a little bit of time. So, and I have a pretty fast internet connection. I don't know, it just takes a little bit of time maybe to process and such. But anyway, I'll save this guy and be ready for when that file gets uploaded. We're almost done. I'm gonna go ahead and put this graphic in here. So let me get rid of record box. So essentially I just moved that graphic file, I saved it off and put it on the desktop of this laptop. So when I click upload image, I can go to my desktop and you'll see it. Here it is right here, Mixcloud. There it is. Boom. And it uploaded nice and easy. 97%, 1 minute remaining. I will click publish. Right now the button is disabled until it's uploaded. All right, so we're uploaded, and all I have to do is scroll down to the bottom and click publish. Now the publish button is active. I click that. Oop, there we go. And boom, there it is. We are live. Now, just a couple of things. This file will take a little bit of time to process. So it will give you this, Mixcloud will give you this message about scrubbing might not work until it's fully transcoded. Great. So that's not a big deal. You can of course publish it and make it available to folks. You've got these share via or share on buttons. But what I usually do is just copy this URL. I take this, and sometimes I'll do it on my phone. And by using this, I can just put this in social media. So I can post it on Instagram. I can make a story. I usually take a picture. I'll use this image and put this in a story and post that on Instagram so people can see it. And of course, Facebook or whatever socials that you want to put it on. So here it is. And I think we're done. We're done with this piece. I will say that this is a lot of fun, and hopefully if you're not doing it already, I think you should try it. It can keep you sharp as a DJ, but also just help you, show off your talent to other people. So that's it for the video. Subscribe if you're not already on my channel, and we'll see you next time.